Most people think the AI era belongs to programmers. It doesn't. It belongs to teachers, more specifically, those who can think systematically. And I'm not saying that as a developer. I've never worked as a software engineer. I've never went to coding school. I'm a retired public school teacher. But I've built Micro-SaaS products, not because I learned syntax, but because I already knew how to design learning. If you've ever trained in a classroom, managed behavior, or built a lesson plan that produced consistent results, you already understand what most vibe coders are missing. AI doesn't need more coders. It needs better instructors. Let me show you what I mean. The one-shot prompting trap. Right now, vibe coding is exploding. People are being told, just prompt the AI and it'll build your app. And technically that's true. But here's what nobody tells beginners. One-shot prompting rarely produces a sellable product. What usually happens is the AI scaffolds too much. Features creep in. Things break in weird places. And you end up going in circles fixing ghosts. Ask me how I know that. I ran into this wall myself. And the breakthrough didn't come from learning more code. It came from remembering how to think like a teacher. So here's the shift that changed everything for me. I stopped treating the AI agent like a tool and started treating it like a very smart student. And if you've ever been in a classroom, you already know. Smart students without structure create chaos. Smart students with structure create excellence. That's when it clicked. Before I ever prompt the agent, I designed the learning environment. Let me show you how teacher skills transfer directly into AI building and vibe coding. First, you have the classroom skill and then the AI builder equivalent. So you have classroom rules. So before students even walk into your classroom the first day, you set up rules that they need to follow in your classroom. The AI builder equivalent is a behavior contract. Now I use Replit to build my apps. And I like to use the Replit MD or the Markdown file to help me create this behavior for my agent. So I'm literally setting up the boundary for my agent and how I want it to act as I'm building. That's the behavior contract. Then as a teacher, I also had a lesson plan. So I structured through a lesson plan the outcome that I wanted to happen for each student. The AI equivalent behavior is a system map. So the MD file and the system map, both are markdown files, but these are both root systems within the agent, and it constructs and constrains the agent for what you need it to do. Otherwise, you can one prompt it, and then it'll just go off and create whatever it wants to create. Next is the learning objectives, which is the doctrine lock for the AI equivalent builder. So in this way, you literally put together how you want the agent to act and how you don't want it to act. As a teacher, you have a rubric. The definition of done is the AI builder equivalent. Then you test the students. For the AI equivalent builder, it's an engine test. And then you manage behavior. And then this is the phase enforcement for the AI equivalent builder. Teachers don't wing transformation, they design it. And that's exactly what high-level AI building requires. You're already doing it or have done it as a teacher. It's just a natural progression to do this with AI. So one of the things you definitely want to do before you step into this arena, before you step into telling your agent what to do, is you want to control before you build. I learned this the hard way, and it's where so many vibe coders go wrong. They start with the user interface first. They go with features first, maybe Stripe first, AI calls first. But that's backwards. High leverage builders do something different. They establish control before they build. In my workflow, the very first artifact is what I call the behavior contract. Replit again is my platform of choice. I'm sure others work the same way. They might call this something different. But in Replit, the behavior contract lives in your replit.md file. I should say, this is my first step before coding anything. The Markdown file's job is to train or control the agent and prevent silent changes, phase jumping, overbuilding, AI drift, premature UI, premature payments. This is the classroom behavior management for your AI agent. And teachers already know how to do this through experience. If you don't set expectations for your students up front, chaos follows. Vibe coding with the agent is no different. Why this creates monetizable products. Here's why this matters if you actually want to make money with Micro-SaaS. There are two types of builds happening right now. The hype path. You prompt first, scaffold everything in 15 minutes or less, patch problems later, hope it works. The result? Fragile apps that if something breaks, you have no idea where to begin trying to fix it. That creates endless refactors and frustration. Trust me when I say I know this frustration. It also creates delayed launches. The second path is what I call the instructor path. You control behavior first, lock doctrine, map the system, build a deterministic engine, then layer in the UX and UI. The result? Stable, testable, scalable. The difference is the structure. And structure is what teachers already do or have done for a living. Here are a few apps I created once I began treating my AI agent as a student. So a couple of the apps I built are basically from aspects of things that I've done in periods in my life. So I've been a coach and a spiritual teacher and that type of thing. So I created an app that is specifically for spiritual coaches that do high ticket offer coaching. And that means from $3,000 and up. So their program costs $3,000 and up. But a lot of times you have discovery calls for these programs, and you want to get good at really helping people to make a decision. But one of the things that a lot of the tools do for sales is it makes you feel like you're trying to pressure people or you're trying to talk them into something. And that's just not something that a lot of people that are in the spiritual genre, they don't want to do that. So that's what I created this app specifically for. But what a person can do is they can take their discovery call and they can literally paste the call into this section here. And then they can put in some insights about the particular call or the person and the call. Analyze the call, and this will fill out the information for me. Okay, and then it'll complete this information for me. So it makes this process very, very simple for somebody that is doing this. Okay, so analyze the call, and then after the everything has been analyzed, then I can scroll down and then click generate guidance. And what the AI will do is then to generate an output for emails and follow-up questions or just follow-up emails for that coach. So this was something that was very difficult for me because I didn't always know how to follow up. I didn't want to seem pushy. I didn't want to seem that way with this person. So it became a source of contention. But using this tool, I'm able to create something for people that they can actually have an output for what they're doing. So here you can see there's been an output for an email, so different subject lines that the person can use, and then different the objection response, so it analyzes the response, the objections that they might have. So it takes all of that. And I basically constructed this all into this particular app that it can help that person. And then it gives them, 3 follow-ups and what they can say for like 3 follow-up emails. So this is just one tool that I've created. Okay. Now I haven't even put on the the auth layer, meaning getting people to sign up, use their email to sign in or whatever. I haven't put in the Stripe layer for people to basically pay for the service. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get people to test it for me. So you want to basically be in a position to where you can get people to test the apps for you and just make sure that everything works. Okay. Now I've tested it through just doing putting it together, putting all the layers together, but I'm just waiting on putting them on those last two layers for this particular app. Now, here's another app that I've created. I'm a beginning real estate investor, and one of the things I don't want to do is to lose my money. Okay, so I know a lot of times real estate investors, we when we're getting into this, we don't know what's a good deal and what's not. You know, we can have all the numbers thrown at us, but we don't know how to make the numbers, how the numbers work, or or how to tell a good deal. So I created this app for myself. Basically, I was like, okay, well, how can I, make sure that I know a good deal? And I like to say I created this on scar tissue math. And I researched what were good deals and what were, over time, the best deals that people, how they structured them and how they made them come out to be that they could be a winner. But you can basically in 60 seconds tell whether this deal is a good deal or not. So what I did is I created this demo, and I can just basically put in, say, an amount that the property can sell for, and then what the seller actually asked, and then what it might cost to rehab the property, to fix it up. And then I literally get a result of a printout. So I have a beginner mode and an investor mode. So it's just basically changes the language. So beginners might not know what the language is, but I can speak their language, and then I can put it in the investor mode because they already know it, and then it can speak their language. But it can tell them whether this is a good deal or not. So it gives you red, green, or yellow, red, yellow, or green. This box would be red, yellow, green. So red means don't spend time even researching this deal. A yellow means that it might need a few changes, and then a green means, okay, well, you can go ahead and research this and get into some depth on it. But this particular app I've actually already created. I've actually already created all of the whole layer. So this is from beginning to end. It has the auth layer. It also has the Stripe layer and everything. So this is that's what this app can do. But so that again is just building from creating a structure first, creating the engine and all of that first, and then building the layers. And then that's what I did to build this app and create this app. Now, I hope those can give you a little bit of an idea of what you can do once you start to plan and structure for your agent. This is not for me to brag on what I'm doing. It's just to say that, hey, I've tried the vibe coding one-shot prompt way. It didn't work for me. But I know structure does. And the proof is the apps I'm able to turn out by doing it this way. So here's the advanced edge. Here's the deeper technical insight most beginners miss. AI models are probabilistic, which means same input does not guarantee same output. So if you build carelessly and simply one-shot your agent, your product becomes unpredictable. The solution? A deterministic shell and a probabilistic core. The translation of this is your system stays controlled. The agent is treated like untrusted input. Everything gets validated, everything gets logged, and everything gets constrained. This is not hype building. This is governed and systematic communication with the agent. And again, this is exactly how teachers already think. So if you've spent years in a classroom, designing lessons, managing complexity, guiding people from confusion to clarity, you've already been doing the work the vibe coding demands. The agent doesn't reward the fastest typist, it rewards the clearest thinker. The person who can define outcomes, set constraints, sequence learning, test understanding, prevent drift. That's not a new skill. That's instructional design. The tools may look different, but the leverage is the same. And if that's the background you come from, you may be closer to building than you realize. I hope this has sparked something in you. Now go build.